This is the Karat Juice Podcast. I am your host, Monte Lee. And here in this episode, we're going to be talking about something that I find to be very important: excuses, and why they don't serve you at all, why they're more harmful than you could ever know. And this episode here at the Karat Juice Podcast, we talk about culture, we talk about relationships, we talk about true crime at times, but I also lean into something that I find very impactful and helpful for people, which is productivity, how you can improve, how you can become a better person and grow each and every day to reach your fullest potential. And what is the major thing that I find that is holding so many people back in the culture today? What is it that you ask? What is it? It's excuses. We're going to go right into why. Okay? We're going to go into why people feel that way. Why people feel that the excuses let me get my thoughts together. This topic came on my mind because I'm going to bring it on me. I've had excuses about things in the past, and what I realized was when I had the least traction, when I wasn't fulfilling the goals that I had set out to do, the main culprit I found was me thinking about it from a perspective where it was like other people are the reason why I'm not successful, or my circumstances, or where I grew up, or hands I had been dealt in life. That was where my mindset was. My mindset was not in a mindset that was going to help me actually succeed, because I was blinded by that mentality. I was blinded by the glass being half empty rather than half full. And I'll dive deeper into that. But what I find far too many people doing today in the culture really is constantly bringing up why they can't succeed rather than doing something to fix it. And let me get a little more deeper with it. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody, right? And during that conversation, the person is, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and every time you ask them, like they're saying, well, I can't find a job. I keep getting laid off. Nobody ever helps me. I can never get ahead. But then you start asking some follow-up questions. You're like, all right, I got you. So you lost your job. All right, cool. You keep getting laid off, what have you. All right. You say, okay, so what are you doing to get a job? Well, it's been hard. I put in, like a couple of applications, but I haven't heard back. Well, when did you put out these applications? When did you fill out the applications? 2 weeks ago. Bruh. And then you're sitting there looking like, so what am I supposed to do with this information? Do you really want to work? Or are you just leaning on the convenient excuse that nobody is helping you out? Newsflash for you. The world, or no one at all, owes you understanding in this life. We all have to do our part to reach what we eventually want to reach in life. And what I've realized and what I found is the majority of people, not all, I know some people really have had some hard go at life. I know some people really have disabilities or have ailments that are pulling them down. And I have empathy and sympathy for that. However, if you are able-bodied and you're somebody that doesn't really have a valid reason as to why they're not reaching the goals they want to reach, you have to look inward before you can grow and actually reach the fullest potential that you can reach. But it starts with some accountability. It starts with saying, am I doing everything I can do to get to where I want to get? And I would say a lot of people aren't. What's the main culprit? Who are the people who constantly have excuses as to why they're not getting ahead? Is that you? That's been me in the past. You know, when I was in high school, man, why don't I have a car like that? Why why ain't I getting to play like old cuz over there? Why don't I got the Corvette or the Ferrari or whatever? Well, you know what? I hadn't worked for it yet. I hadn't grown. I didn't know what it took to get there. I didn't deserve it at that point in time because I hadn't earned it. Anything in this world and in this life that's worth having, you have to work for, and you have to, struggle to get. I didn't understand that when I was, shout out to Stephen A. I didn't understand that when I was, young, breath smelling like Similac, barely, 16, 17. Hadn't had the life experience yet. And now that I'm older, I'm 33 now. Now that I'm older and I've experienced some life, I appreciate those humble beginnings that I've had growing up because it makes me appreciate everything I have now even more. So who is that person that I'm speaking to who has excuses as to why they're not where they want to be in life? I'm speaking to the person who's down right now. I'm speaking to the person who's struggling. I'm speaking to the person who doesn't know how they're going to cover their rent in a couple of weeks. I'm speaking to the person who just got laid off and they're trying to figure out how they're going to earn an income and they're trying to figure out what the next move is. I've been there before. I understand that those emotions that you have. I understand being in that predicament in life. I'm not better than anybody else, and I don't claim to be. It's my intention here on this platform to help you observe what's going on in society, digest what is really going on, and through the nuance, the trials and tribulations of everything you have going on in life, attempt to progress forward and to form a deeper and better level of understanding so that you can reach your fullest potential. I hope with this perspective that I give to you here today on this platform, it helps you. If it helps one person kind of get some clarity in their mentality so that they can kind of see clearly and make some actionable steps or take some actionable steps to get out of that cycle of despair they're in, then I've served my purpose with this episode. So that's that. It's my intention in this episode to give you some of that mentality that you might need to get you out of that cycle, to get you out of that rut. Have you ever been in a rut where you don't know what your next move is going to be? You're worried about money, or you're worried about your life or your financial situation, or you're going through a tough time and you're kind of just stuck in your head and you keep recycling the same thoughts trying to get a solution? Sometimes the solution isn't in your head. Sometimes the solution is action. Sometimes the solution is just figuring out what it is you want and moving towards it. I always say, if you want to earn more income, if you're struggling with finances, you need to learn, seek guidance, get some clarity and some financial literacy, but you also need to research what your skills are and how much people are paying people to perform, people who have that skill. Figure out how much it pays. And if you don't have the skill, figure out what you can do to obtain that skill so you can earn that wage. I preach here on this channel how important it is for people to learn a skill that doesn't really require college, such as the trades, heating, cooling, electricians, plumbers. Those are all things you can do. And it's really no excuse to do that. I have a video that I did in the past that talks about how to increase your skills to earn more income. I'll link that in the description, and maybe I'll put it at the end of this video to where you, if you're in a situation where you want to earn more of an income, you can take some action to get what you want out of life. Because at the end of the day, that's what I really want for people. Inflation is here. More people than ever are starting to have these real thoughts and real conversations, and they don't know how long they're going to be able to keep their job, if they're going to be getting laid off. I don't know if you guys heard, but they're starting to create robots to do everything. Trust me, automation is good for industry and infrastructure, but it's not the best for you if you're working a job that's unskilled labor. Bruh. Think about it. They're creating a robot to replace who? If you're unskilled labor, you. Think about it. Think about that. I'm always trying to think ahead, all right? And I've been thinking about my audience, and I've done some polls, and what it uncovered was there is an income problem with a lot of people who are on YouTube and consuming content. And I'm glad that you're here and consuming content. While you're at it, please do me a favor for the algorithm. If you like this, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. It's fine. Share this with a friend if you're getting value, and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. But while we're at it, what I'm saying is there are a lot of people spending a lot of time on YouTube where, in all honesty, you should be figuring out and moving towards doing something to earn more income, because inflation is not going anywhere. This is real talk. It's not. A lot of people are going to be struggling. It's fall time right now. Football season. I'm getting ready to have my cider, my donuts, watch football. But there are so many people who need to be in a growth mindset, a growth season, and putting their foot to the pavement, especially if you're a young person. If you're a young person and you're working minimum wage or close to it, there's no reason for you not to be grinding right now. I'm talking about really putting your foot to the pavement to get the outcomes that you want. I had an article here. It's not really an article. It's just something that kind of goes deeper on excuses and what really makes up excuses. All right. And I thought it was interesting. See if I can get the actual thing pulled up. Bear with me right here. We're building while we fly it. Let's see here. See if I can get this pulled up. So I'll get this pulled up. I thought this was interesting. So this has to do with, it goes, the anatomy of excuses. And it kind of breaks down into sections what you can do to, identify excuses and stop, first of all, making them so that you can get to where you need to get in life. And it's 3 sections, okay? It's understanding them first, understand excuses. That's number 1. Secondly, what you need to do is you need to spot them. And then lastly, you need to shed them. So we need to understand excuses. We need to figure out how to spot them. And then we need to shed them. And I thought this was profound. And I'm not going to read this entire thing, but I think it's worth covering at least because I think it's good content. Here we go. So this is it here. The anatomy of excuses. Okay. Let's go here. Let's blow this up. See that okay? I'll put my big head on the screen. Here we go. So, no, I'll take my head off. So it says here, let me see if I can get this pulled up right. Pull it up. Let's zoom in. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. All right, it indicates here the anatomy of excuses. All right. And it says here, are you talking yourself out of achieving your dreams? Are you? Think about it. Look inward. So it indicates here, first one, understand excuses. It says excuses have complex layers. We're innately offended by not being true to our dreams, so a simple excuse isn't enough. We need more layers to hide behind, says Gerber. It indicates here, I won't go through this entire quote. Well, I guess I'll go through it. She says, she was growing out of her clothes, and that was her first level of an excuse. She followed that by saying, it's not that bad. Okay. It's not that bad. Right. But then she also followed that with another excuse saying, I love food. Then another one, she says, okay, healthy food doesn't taste that good, so I'm just going to keep eating these chicken nuggets and fried food and all that. Then another excuse is eating healthily isn't fun on social occasions, right? We want to go eat, stuff that's not the best for us because it tastes the best, right? Everyone else is doing it. Okay. She says, my husband doesn't mind. See how these are compounding? It's all about your habits. We talked about atomic habits in the past. This is all about your habits. I was so offended by not living my dream that I had 14 different excuses. So that's understanding them. Understanding excuses is important because if we don't understand something that's hindering us, we'll never be able to identify it, stop doing it, and ultimately get better habits. All right. All right, let's continue. So it also indicates here as well that you should spot them. Spot them. We need to spot these excuses. All right, let me increase that. Okay, spot them. It's vital to see your excuses for what they are. She suggests that we should start noticing where you feel stuck in your life. All right. Where are you feeling stuck in your life? Where are you making excuses each and every day? This is something that a lot of people don't do. We don't take the time to just look inward to figure out where we can improve. It's a blind spot that a lot of people have. And if you can figure this out, I promise you, you will get better results in life. Because I know myself, if it's not social media, if it's not Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff for the young people, for me, I love YouTube. I love to watch YouTube and consume YouTube. That's part of the reason why I'm on this platform right now. However, what I've started to notice is there's so much content on YouTube that is not good for you. It's not helping you at all. What I'm starting to see is a lot of stuff is just for entertainment purpose only, but you're not really getting much value out of it that's going to help you become a better version of yourself. And I know it has a place, but you are what you consume at the end of the day. And if everything you're consuming is just all about other people's lives, other people's relationships, how much income other people have when you're struggling, then what are you really doing with your life? Think about that. There has to be more. Peel back the layers. Understand some of the excuses you have in your life right now as to why you're not where you're supposed to be. All right. Secondly, spot those. All right. It's vital to see your excuses for what they are. Are you not healthy right now? Are you overweight? Are you eating cookies and donuts every night? When was the last time you've been to the gym? When's the last time you walked somewhere? Are you ordering Uber Eats every night? What are some excuses that you're having and that you're compounding to why you're not getting where you need to be? I want you to be successful and succeed, and this is a way to do it. Spot these things out. Become aware of them. That's how we can make better decisions moving forward. And let me not get tangled. So we got understand excuses. We spotted them. And then the last one is we need to shed them. How do we shed these excuses? So we need to also shed them. All right. Let me pull this. Boom. Shed them. Let me get this pulled up. Here we go. Zoom. Is it going to let me move? That better? Cool. Yes. Shed them. So we also need to shed them. Excuses cover the truth. Once you can see you're hiding behind them, you need to figure out the real reason you're not living up to your dreams. So ask yourself outright. Ask yourself outright, what is the truth? What is the truth? Okay. She eventually had to take ownership of what was going on. She had to face up to the fact she simply liked to eat what she liked and when she liked. And that's why she wasn't getting the results that she wanted. So I didn't want to go too deep into that. But we just learned that you should understand your excuses. You should spot them. And then you should shed them. But you only can understand your excuses by understanding that they're layered. They compound upon one another. First, it starts with, well, I really like this food. Then the next thing is, well, healthy food is expensive. Then it goes into, well, everybody's doing it, and so on and so on and so on. Then you need to spot them. All right. You need to be able to see your excuses for what they really are. And then the only way you can shed them is you need to take ownership of them. The key to true growth and to truly becoming who you need to be is acknowledging that there's a problem, acknowledging that you're not where you're supposed to be or that where you want to be, and then figuring out what you're going to do to move forward. I thought this was important to talk about because more and more lately, what I am kind of driven to and what drives me is things that are productive, things that are going to help people grow, that's going to help me grow. And I have been pulled down and dragged down in the past so much by just excuses. Excuses that continue to compound. What's the word that they call them? And then what you do is what do they call that thing? It's something where you have an excuse or something, right? And there's something that they say, you justify them, right? You want to buy something that's expensive. You don't really need it, but you want it. Have you had this happen to you? You want to buy something, right? You don't really need it, but you want it. And you try to justify in your mind why you need it, but you don't really need it. Like you already got a nice watch or something, or you already have whatever device you say, whatever thing it is, you already have the camera, right? A camera that's perfectly fine. It fulfills its requirements. It fulfills everything that you need. But then you start looking at other cameras that people have, or you start looking at other equipment that somebody has. You start looking at reviews on YouTube. And me, when I start looking at reviews, I start going deep into it and I look at all the specs and everything. And before you know it, Amazon's pulled up and guess what I'm doing? Buying it. You know what I'm saying? That's for my soundboard. I say all of that to say, we can justify a lot of things that aren't the best for us. I can justify buying electronics and stuff like this because it is for this platform. It is for this channel. But eventually you'll get to a point of diminishing returns when it comes to things in life. Sometimes you just need to sit down, put in the work, and do what you need to do. And whatever that is for you, I want you to go after that full bore with no excuses. Because you are stronger than your excuses, even if you don't know it yet. I always say, to even be here right now in this moment, to be alive, you are a fighter, you are a winner. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget their innate nature and what that fight and that grit and everything they had to have to even be here. And you can kind of find yourself just kind of meandering through life. And quite honestly, that's no way to live. Now, if you're content with where you are, I don't want to knock you. But I guess this just probably isn't the right platform for you, because I'm all about growth, getting better. And I want to see more out of people. I want people to really be enthused and proud of what they're doing each and every day. And quite honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of what I'm starting to see, at least pushed in the media. All right, let me be real for a moment. For me, answer this for me. Why is so many things that are pushed in the media negative? Let's be honest. Is it me, or is so much of the things that are pushed in the media, entertainment, you name it, negative? It's because it gets people's attention. It's because it's what gets clicks. But in all honesty, what is actually going to serve you the best in your life and what you have going on? It's not really that. I think in America, our culture, I love America. I love being an American. But the way our culture is set up right now and how we're just so like drawn in and all we think about is attention, 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 entertainment, 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 views, 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 pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, that we get blinded from what's actually important in life. And when I take a step back and I think about that, life is about people. It's about connection. And ultimately, on an innate level, when you pull back all the layers of everything, it's about having purpose. Innately, true purpose. What is your purpose here on this earth? What is your purpose here on this earth? Me personally, I think it's my purpose to put my thoughts together, to express myself, but ultimately to help others figure out what their true purpose is. So this has been a mentality session where I hope if you're going through something, or if you're trying to figure out what you're going to do next in your life, that you can figure that out and just kind of focus on what's important. Because it's I ain't gonna lie, it's just a bit, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's a bit discouraging at times when I'm looking through the news or the media, and all of the stories for the most part that I'm seeing are just all about this innate sensationalized, almost propaganda that you don't even know what's true or not. And it's about things just to keep your eyes glued to the TV or the phone or whatever. It doesn't really have substance to it. So I think I went on that rant, and I'm saying all of this just to say is to mental health is important. You need to guard your mental space, because without a clear mind and mental health, you have nothing. You could be good everywhere else you are in your life, but if you're not mentally strong and grounded, it could all crumble. And I'm starting to realize, with the increase in all of the access that we have with social media, with all of the people being able to speak with one another, do anything, go anywhere, I'm starting to see so many stories of young people my age, who are harming themselves, deleting themselves, because they didn't reach out to somebody, because they are in their heads, they're going through a perpetual cycle of despair. And I think that all starts with feeling like they don't have purpose. They don't have a reason to be here. And one thing I can tell you for a fact is, if you lean on excuses, you don't understand them, and you continue to let them compound, they have the ability to tear you down and to lead you somewhere where you could possibly not come back. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to open your eyes and realize that you have a purpose on this earth. You are meant to do great things. You just don't know it yet. And you need to figure out whatever that is going to be for yourself, not for anybody else, not for notoriety, not for money, not for anything but you. All the rest of that will come in time. And this has just been on my heart because I don't know, man. People don't talk about real stuff as much as they should. And I always said that sometimes you just got to get real. And sometimes you just need to speak to people and have that connection. Because even though somebody might seem like they're okay, what you need to do, especially men, sometimes you need to just reach out to your brothers and just be and check in with them legitimately, because you never know, that message to somebody that you really care about could be what they really need, even though they're screaming out for help inside, but they would never let you know. So reach out to your people, check in on them, make sure that people are okay, because we're going into the fall, we're going into the winter months, and a lot of people are isolated. They're not seeing the people that they were seeing during the summer. And I just want to make sure that people are being mindful of their mental states, that they're being healthy, that they're focusing on getting better by 1 degree each and every day. And with that approach, you cannot fail. So, hey, that's been another episode of the Karat Juice Podcast. If you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like this content and you wish that I would speak faster, dislike this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Do me a favor, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, for my audio listeners, I appreciate you very, very much. Please, if you enjoyed this content, rate the podcast, please. 5-star, 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 anywhere where you consume podcasts. And like I say every time here on the Karat Juice Podcast, love someone, hug someone, do something good for someone, not expecting anything in return. And until next time, I'll speak to you guys. Peace. I'm out.